Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we are doing a part 211 of players to have lived a double life. Let's go. Goalkeeper, Fabien Barthez. Barthez, who made 87 appearances between the sticks for Les Bleus over 12 years, amassed an impressive CV of accomplishments. He played every game for his country during France's 1998 World Cup win, conceding just twice and winning the award for Best Goalkeeper, a feat he matched 2 years later in the Euros triumph. At club level, Barthez won the Champions League with Marseille in 1993 and 2 Premier League titles with Man United. In 2007, he retired having played over 500 games and finally got to pursue his real passion, motorsport. Despite being used to the more sedate life of a goalkeeper, Barthez took to driving like a duck to water, starting off in Porsche Carrera events, followed by the GT series. After winning France's GT Championship, he stepped up to the world-famous Le Mans series. Not satisfied with competing in the 24-hour race 3 times, he set up his own team, Panis Barthez Competition, which raced for the first time in 2017. Now that's dedication. Defender, Frank Leboeuf. Football pundits frequently talk about unmissable box office action, and players such as Diego Costa get criticised for their theatrics. But one man who literally did swap pitch for screen is Barthez's fellow World Cup winner, Frank Leboeuf. The defender was part of Chelsea's French contingent, alongside Desailly and Deschamps, in their poor pre-Abramovich days. The set-piece specialist, who scored an impressive 24 goals in his career, won 4 trophies during his 5-year spell in West London. Having man-marked Ronaldo out of the 1998 World Cup final after coming on as a substitute for the red-carded Laurent Blanc, it's clear he could handle the big stage. Although he has featured in 6 films and multiple TV series, the pinnacle was undoubtedly a cameo role in the 2015 film The Theory of Everything, alongside the Oscar-winning Eddie Redmayne. His role as a doctor who gave Stephen Hawking the news that he would never speak again was fitting for the former defender who had been keeping forwards quiet throughout his 17-year playing career. Defender, Georgi Popescu. The all-action central defender had a distinguished playing career, which included captaining Barcelona and reaching the quarter-finals of both World Cup 1994 and Euro 2000 with Romania. Popescu, who won 4 league titles, turned out for teams including PSV, Galatasaray, Barcelona, and even a season with Spurs. He won over 100 caps as part of Romania's golden generation, alongside Dan Petrescu and his brother-in-law, Georgi Hagi. Popescu's double life started before his career took off with his first team. Popescu used to, get this, conduct espionage work on his colleagues. Romania at this time was still under Nicolae Ceausescu's brutal communist rule. Already making his name as a defender, Popescu signed an agreement with the communist regime to defend the national interests. This involved the sinister task of informing on teammates to the secret police. No one likes a snitch, and karma is a bitch. Popescu is currently serving a 3-year jail sentence for tax evasion and money laundering. Defender, Raymond Vega. Raymond Vega may have won a treble with Celtic in 2001 on loan, but he is best remembered for his 4-year spell at Spurs. The Swiss central defender, who won 23 caps for his country, went on to lead the double life we all wished for. Vega struggled to break the Lily-White central defensive partnership of Sol Campbell and Ledley King. This, coupled with a broken ankle, meant Vega only made 64 appearances for the North London side, but still netted an impressive 7 goals. This strike rate of a goal every 9 games is better than the Premier League's all-time top-scoring defender, John Terry, who scored a goal every 12 games. Vega retired in 2003, but was determined to add to his coffers, despite earning £15,000 per week at Spurs. Vega utilised the degree in banking and finance he studied for whilst at Grasshoppers, and entered the world of finance. 14 years on, he's an asset manager in Mayfair and has made a mouth-watering £15 million in his 12 years of retirement. Defender, Ray Wilson. You might never have heard of Ray Wilson, but he has led an extraordinary life. An apprentice railway man on leaving school, he was soon spotted by Huddersfield Town manager Bill Shankly. 5 years before his first call-up to the England squad, the young left-back was called up for national service, carrying out a 2-year army posting. After 266 appearances for Huddersfield, he left for Everton in 1964. Wilson won an FA Cup with the Toffees in 1966, and a few months later, the World Cup with England. In all, Wilson earned 63 caps for his country and held the unwanted record for most caps for an outfield player without scoring, since broken by Gary Neville and Ashley Cole. What does an ex-Army veteran and World Cup winner do having retired aged 37? Well, Wilson, regarded as one of England's greatest ever left-backs, made the extraordinary decision to become an undertaker back in Huddersfield. Why? We have no idea. Midfielder, Gaizka Mendieta. Mendieta was a vital cog in the Valencia side that lost back-to-back Champions League finals, and one of the many megastars such as Ravanelli and Juninho who inexplicably wound up at Middlesbrough around the turn of the century. Sadly for Mendieta, who won 2 European Midfielder of the Year awards, he had left for Lazio in a £30 million move by the time Rafa Benitez led Valencia to 2 La Liga triumphs. What many people didn't know is that during his spell on Spain's east coast, he was swapping the 55,000-seater Mestalla for nightclubs. Footballers who like to go clubbing is barely newsworthy, but Mendieta was controlling the tempo off the pitch as the DJ. The energetic midfielder who scored at a rate of 1 in 5 for Spain even got the opportunity to play alongside the band Los Plantes on stage at Benicassim in 2015. Midfielder, Clint Dempsey. Clint Dempsey is a legend to all soccer fans in the US. His country's 4th most capped player, joint top scorer with 57 goals alongside Landon Donovan, and a brilliant international strike rate of a goal every 2.5 games. Out of all active professionals, Dempsey is in 3rd place for most goals behind Messi and CR7 at international level, and became the first male American to score in 3 consecutive World Cups. The Seattle Sounders midfielder, who had a brief spell at Spurs, is best known for his 5-year adventure at Fulham. The Cottagers back then were actually pretty good, regularly finishing in the top half of the table and reaching a Europa League final in 2010, before losing to an Atletico Madrid side containing Diego Forlan and Sergio Aguero. Dempsey was feeling in a confident mood ahead of the 2006 World Cup in Germany. He'd scored 11 goals in 30 appearances that campaign, and they had a squad containing the likes of Tim Howard, Brian McBride and Landon Donovan. The Texas native released a rap song called Don't Tread for Nike prior to the tournament. It clearly didn't have the desired effect, as the US were knocked out in the group stage without winning a single game. Midfielder, Terry Venables. Venables spent his entire footballing career in the city of his birth, London, representing Chelsea, Spurs and QPR in a 15-year playing career. The midfielder had a reputation as a bit of a party man even back then, as he was suspended in 1965 by Chelsea for heading for a night out after a defeat to Liverpool. He is best known though for his managerial career, which included leading Barcelona to a La Liga triumph in 1985 and an FA Cup with Spurs 6 years later. The pinnacle though was leading England to the semi-finals of Euro 1996, where they lost to eventual champions Germany on home soil. Venables was a multi-talented man, co-authoring 5 books, releasing 2 songs including a World Cup anthem, and managing 4 companies. These businesses were brought to court in 1998 by the Department of Trade and Industry, who cited instances of bribery, lying and manipulating accounts. Let's hope for his sake that his current ventures as a series of nightclubs in Spain stay clear of trouble. Forward, Andrei Shevchenko. Current Ukrainian manager Andrei Shevchenko was in his prime an incredible striker. Still the 5th highest scorer in European competitions with 67 goals, and the 2nd most prolific player in Milan's history behind Gunnar Nordal with 175 goals. 18 major trophies, the top scorer in the Milan derby with 14 goals, and the 2004 Ballon d'Or, his achievements go on and on. Unfortunately, Shevchenko is always associated with an ill-fated spell at Chelsea, which he joined aged 30, past his peak, and went on to score 9 goals in 3 seasons. After his retirement in June 2012, Sheva immediately joined the Ukraine Forward Party, formerly known as the Ukrainian Social Democratic Party, and ran in the 2012 Ukrainian parliamentary election. It was a disaster. His party won less than 2% and not a single constituency. I think it's safe to say, stick to what you know, Andre. Forward, Djibril Cissé. Djibril Cissé's career is a case of what might have been. He made his debut for Auxerre aged 17 and scored 70 goals in his first 128 club appearances. That's a rate of 0.5 goals a game. To put that into context, teenage sensation Kylian Mbappe is currently averaging 0.4 a game. He was Ligue 1's top scorer in the 2002-03 season, with 22 goals in 29 games, and a transfer to Liverpool followed. And just 19 games into his Anfield career, he suffered a horrific broken leg in a challenge with Blackburn's Jay McKeevely. Having nearly lost his leg in the incident, to return in 5 months was truly remarkable, and he even made a substitute appearance in the 2005 Champions League final, scoring his penalty in the shootout. Despite winning 4 league top scorer awards, Cisse has a somewhat underrated career. It was nomadic, playing for 11 clubs in 6 different countries, but he also netted 192 senior goals, 12 more than Robin van Persie. Cisse, whose goal in 2012 nearly ruined City's infamous first title, can now be found DJing across France, continuing to make it rain off the pitch. Forward, Neil Warnock. Definitely the strangest double life on this list, Neil Warnock has a wealth of experience. In the game since 1967, Warnock has played for 8 teams and managed 15, including Leeds, Crystal Palace, QPR and currently promotion chasers Cardiff City. We have to admit, we imagined Warnock as a brutish, clumsy centre-back, but it turns out he was a winger in his day, with no shortage of pace, who scored 36 goals in over 300 appearances. What you might not know is the fact that prior to getting the Scarborough job in the late 1970s, Warnock trained as a chiropodist, or a foot doctor. The proud Yorkshireman says that it all started because he had bad feet. Now let that image fester in your head for a second. Neil Warnock's sweaty athlete's foot. Having trained for 4 years, he set up a surgery in Sheffield and worked in the local department stores. You do you, Neil. You do you. So I hope you guys liked that video. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed that, why not check out the video on screen right now? I'm sure it is great. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.